rain, let it pour, let it rain a whole lot more, 'cause I got them deep river blues. Let that rain drive right on, let them waves sweep along, 'cause I got them deep, deep river blues.
Sing it,
John Gray here.
That's
just,
great.
just plain swimming.
Good morning, John. I'm Peggy Burton. I don't have quite the
Doc Watson.
vocabulary to come up with a song right on the spot.
That's an old Doc Watson song off the old Sugar Hill records
Right.
from back in the 60s.
Blues, right?
Yeah, sure is.
Good song. Well, it is pretty rainy out there.
It's
I
pretty
have to
rainy,
say.
but so far we haven't gotten
We've been lucky.
a deluge like we
Yeah.
thought we were going to get. And looking at the radar, it seems that all of the really, really heavy rain is already above us.
Seems to be. I hope.
So,
Well, we always.
and so
need
we're just
rain.
having
I
rain,
can't-
and we
I can't
need rain.
complain, Right.
which brings about a point,
And that being
that being water.
water.
Water. Water is a very,
Cool,
very
cool water.
cool water. Water is a very, very wonderful thing. We're searching right now in space. We're going to Mars and we're going to places.
Trying to
And
find
what
water.
we look for is water or evidence of water at some
point in time, exactly.
because water to us is a source of life. And this planet has all kinds of water.
But you should never take it for granted.
But water also, as we know, is very devastating, very dangerous. The Great Flood that wiped out all of us at one point, other than Noah and a few floating around, it was water. Last 2 weeks ago, over in around Nashville, 28 people
20,
died
yeah.
because of water.
And this thing in New Orleans is devastating.
Devastating.
Waverly is devastating.
Waverly, and one of the things that is destructive as anything to your house, to your property, to anything laying outside is water. Water breaks down almost everything.
I know it can be frightening, but it can also be enlightening.
But we have to have it, and
We
nothing
have to have
better,
it, yeah.
like Peggy said, cool water.
I know.
Or jumping in a swimming pool, or going to the ocean, which is water, all water, where we supposedly crawled up out of. And when you get to the ocean, that's why everybody feels so good when they go to the ocean.
When they get to the ocean. Don't you love the sound of the ocean?
The sound and the ions, there's negative ions
My
there.
guess is that sound that you love so much sort of dissipates when you're in a hurricane like they're in now.
Or being washed down a river.
Washed down a river. And an alligator biting your arm off. Did you see that?
And what amazes me, and it was a statement was made about it the other day by some of the safety people, is evidently people in America can't read because there's a sign that says don't cross here when there's water on the road.
And
here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, I've got this big SUV. It's a Jeep. I can go anywhere. And guess what?
And
Next
they
thing
get
you know, they're
washed
floating
away.
down the
You're
river.
right.
And somebody's got to go rescue them.
Yeah,
because
people need
they're
to
arrogance.
learn to read. I believe that.
Or they just can't read.
They just can't.
Or
well,
they
they
think
just
that
think-
doesn't mean me.
Yeah, that doesn't mean
Not me. So I have a little something here in my Loku
Good.
book,
Is it a
which
river?
is for sale. This is a 3rd edition. It has 366 little parables in it. Number 69, cold, slick, sparkling hard. Nature's jackhammer, rendered into the source of life by the sun. Ice.
Interesting. Very nice.
Do you know?
I
Do
didn't
you
know where you were
know
going
we
with
can
that.
take a workforce with jackhammers and go out and jackhammer up a road, but given enough time, one little crack in the road, it fills with water, it freezes. It fills with water, it freezes. And all of a sudden, the road's destroyed.
Exactly.
So ice is nature's jackhammer.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
So keep that in mind. Hey, get in touch with me if you want to buy one of my Loku books.
Well,
I'm easy to find.
How much you charging?
$25.
25. That's a
For
good
366 of them. So that's about, I don't know, a nickel a piece or something like that.
More than,
That's pretty cheap. That's pretty cheap.
More than one a day, right?
Well, it's one for every day of the year.
Okay.
And leap year.
Oh, all right. That's where you got the extra one.
Yeah. Football,
Great.
Tullahoma High School football.
Winning.
Won first two games, beat Shelbyville, beat Coffee County, and we're off this week. We have a bye week, and then our region has 9 teams in it this year. So every game we play from now on is a regional game.
Wow.
And Marshall County will be here a week from Friday, which we beat Shelbyville 28-14. They beat Shelbyville 21-14.
So that should be
So the
interesting.
Marshall County's always
They're a pretty
always
tough team.
Tough, yeah, tough team.
I'm proud of Tullahoma. I loved what you said about the peacefulness of the event this year.
The coffee pot game last Friday night was the most benign game, not on the field, but
After
there's
it was over.
usually people marching around. Different students go to the other sides and smart off and
Yeah.
press and strut in front of the other
you
side.
didn't see any of that
None of
this
that
year.
happened this year. Everybody was very congenial, as it should be. We're in the same county.
Of course.
We're neighbors. We should support each other, not fight each other.
Well, you know, if we can't be peaceful within our own county, why do we expect our country to ever come to peace with each other?
No, that's true. We don't need to drop off in that rabbit hole, do
No.
we? Hey, I have an important announcement. Our friend and my personal superhero, Becky Buller, will have her debut on the Grand Ole Opry this Friday
I'm
night,
so
September
excited
the
for
3rd.
her. I just think that is fabulous.
And there's a picture of her on Facebook in front of the Opry where there's the big sign, and it has her picture up on it and her name.
Wow.
Where the one where she's holding the fiddle like she's getting ready to take a bite out of it.
Yeah.
And I saw last night, I was up as I usually am in the middle of the night. There was a video clip of Becky. She is in Nashville and spending time with Rhonda Vincent. And she was at Rhonda's house, and they were she was looking through Rhonda's closet
For
for something to wear
Yeah.
on the Opry Friday night. And so Rhonda was playing the mandolin, Becky was playing the fiddle, and they started playing, and every time one of them would take a lead break, the other one would go and change clothes. And so I think they had 8 or so dresses on during that
Yeah.
song.
I
It was
wish I-
it's
I
just
wish I'd
having a
seen
great
that.
time.
What fun.
And of course, Rhonda is the queen of bluegrass right now, and as an Opry member, and she's very happy for Becky.
I think Becky's a good close second.
Oh,
I
Becky's
think they'll be
Becky's
tied
great.
for first pretty soon.
Becky's great. She's our friend, and I've written a song or so with her, and
She has certainly paid her dues.
she is very,
She
very
deserves
talented.
this. In fact, she was going to be on the Opry before the pandemic. Isn't that correct?
I think so.
Yes, and they had to cancel, and so it's been all this time. So it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
She's very deserving.
See what else I had here.
You got something good?
Tullahoma 2024. We had the meetings last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at the different school districts, and that was time for all of us to go that
Did a lot
live
of
in
good
those
stuff come
districts.
out of that?
Huh?
Did a lot of good things come out of
Yeah,
that?
yeah, there were a lot of people. I think there were almost 1,000 people
That's
showed
wonderful.
up jointly and filled out the form. There's a form on the internet that you can fill out about what you think.
I feel
And the two big topics, number one was a common area place where kids could gather or where people can gather. We don't have like a town band shell. South Jackson is sort of that, but it's not really that.
Right.
And so
But it could be.
we're looking for a place where kids can go. Kids have nowhere to go other than the high school parking lot.
Well,
And gather and meet and do what kids do.
When you say kids, are we talking teenagers? Or
Yeah,
little people?
teenagers.
Teenagers, okay.
And young people as well. You know, used to you could go park in the parking lot at the mall, or and now the property owners don't want that because of the injury liability.
That's huge.
And so we're looking at that. The other huge thing is making Tullahoma walkable, and the lack of sidewalks in this town.
I agree with that, certainly, and to keep people from walking in a dangerous place. And it seems that I heard something, I don't know if I'm even going to remember it, something interesting that was going to happen in Tullahoma and their surrounding areas where more tourists would come in, making it a place which would attract more,
Right.
people coming from other places.
And those people want to park their car
A place to walk.
and walk. And the number one thing is getting sidewalks to our schools. We have neighborhood schools. Somebody made a suggestion, why don't we take Fair School, which they're looking to rebuild
Right.
because it's ancient, $15 million worth, and Bel Air. Well, they're so close together. Why don't you build one big school? That's not what we are. We are schools, are neighborhood schools, and kids walk to school.
True.
But kids are being hit on the street, particularly on Avoca, going to
So do you think that
Robert
might-
E. Lee because there's no sidewalks.
That might become a top priority.
It is a huge
I
top
think so,
priority.
Yeah, I really believe
So
that.
get involved with our 2040 because we're looking, not just somebody said, oh, we don't need to be worried about these schools. We had a group come in and look at our schools. The number one project is the high school. Number two is Farrah. But to redo the high school, you're looking at millions and millions and millions of dollars.
I hate to even think
And
about
we
it.
have to inject that into the 2040 plan
Yeah, because
because we're planning for the next 20 years. And so get involved with that and let your city representatives know. Particularly go online if you haven't filled out the questionnaire and fill that out. And because the engineering group it's not gonna be their plan. A lot of times an engineering group comes in and they give you their plan. This is gonna be our plan that they will glean through the information and come up with a plan that the citizens of Tullahoma want to see happen. Very important. Now, we'll be right back after these commercial messages, which are also very important.
I am tremendously blessed to be living at Parkview and very happy to be part of a loving and caring community.
Best thing you can say is this really a great place to live. That's all there is to it, no doubt about that.
It's your home. You just do what you would if you were at your private home. We love it. It's great.
It's just like having a whole neighborhood around you, and it's fun.
It's just a great place to live.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right, no employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and I'm here this morning with my partner, Jerry Harris, Mr. Tennessee walking horse himself.
Wet.
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 Celebration started, what, last Thursday?
Last Wednesday. Started with morning classes, and Wednesday night they had the futurity, and then we had some great nights, and then we had some soggy nights. I mean, it's
now,
but they're having a great show though. Now, I mean, the horses are fantastic, and they're having. It's just unbelievable. We have 19, 20, 24 in a class, so
there's real fans right there.
Those right there are football fans, buddy. They don't back up. They don't go out. They just get out there and we weatherproof everybody and put them out. The celebration did a great job yesterday, which was the Monday night show. They actually started the night classes at 5 o'clock. And by about 9:30 we were done and getting out of there. But steady rain, and I believe the rain today is going to move out somewhere around 5:30 this afternoon, so maybe it'll be better.
Are there, excuse me, just for those out there who aren't familiar, are there times during the celebration that they go into Calisonic?
Well, they have classes into Calisonic, but once they start in that big oval, they don't go back into Calisonic. Number one, the Calisonic, I think, will hold somewhere between 5,500 and 6,000 people. On Saturday night, this stadium here holds 30,000, and they wasn't full, but there were a lot of people in there.
They couldn't have gotten in Calisonic.
No, they couldn't have fit in there.
Well, look at that rain. How do you think the rain, other than the people, affects the outcome of the classes and such? Is it harder to run in the mud?
I don't think it's a bit harder. Some people, I remember years ago, Prism Sky was showing, and when they had the Lynchburg show, it rained. And Prism Sky made a fantastic show. And Herschel Blessings come by and he said, I'm going to pray for rain at the celebration because this baby can walk on water. Well, everybody's different. I mean, horses, if you train them, the ones last night, I watched Karen Bean put on a show last night, was unbelievable. And Jason Myatt did too. And it was in steady rain. Even the youngsters, they're out there. So it's, you get wet. There was one lady that said that when it rains, she always tried to wear one of her oldest riding suits. That way, if it got too wet, it didn't matter.
All right, you know the history. Now, years and years ago, like when I would have been about let's say I was born in 49, let's say about 55. Was there a show in Normandy? Was there a show in Wartrace? It was
Now,
Wartrace.
there was in Wartrace, because Wartrace this year was 115 years, I believe it was.
Okay.
So yes,
Okay.
there was.
I remember my dad had a friend, I think he was mayor of Wartrace, and so Dad, we go down to the horse show. My brother and I had never been to a horse show. It had rained and rained and rained. Well, we in a box in an area on the fence. Well, this man and his wife and my mom and dad sat in the back and put my brother and I on the front.
Got covered in mud, didn't you?
I looked like a tar baby when I came out of there. I had mud from head to toe.
That's why I always want to sit back. Because when these horses go, they drive with that back leg, so they kicking up that mud back there.
I want you to tell our audience, Jerry, and this is very, very, to me, very, very important, and it was brought up last night at our Tullahoma board meeting about the celebration going on. Give us a clue about how much money that brings into our community here.
I'm not sure.
Not just the whole state, but I mean, how important it is to Shelbyville and Tullahoma and Manchester and Murfreesboro.
In 2 weeks, this study was done a few years ago. In 2 weeks, it brings in over $40 million to this area. Now, Shelbyville,
$40 million.
Now, Shelbyville, it impacts them a whole lot more because a lot of people buy houses, farms, and they move.
Condos.
Yeah. And during 2 weeks and during the show season, they're in Shelbyville. So when you look at that, if the walking horse industry, we just say it just went away, it would be devastating to Shelbyville. But around surrounding town would be affected by it. It would affect their economy. It would affect our school system because of taxes. That's why I have talked to different people and hoping eventually we get a horse show back here in Tullahoma, because it used to bring in quite a bit of funds and tax money like the softball games used to.
Sure.
And we've lost all that. We've lost them softball games. They're gone. So the horse show, if we brought it back and we had horse shows here, there's several different groups that have said if there's an arena in Tullahoma, they're going to have shows here. And I'm talking about country boy shows, spotted horse shows, mule shows, and walking horse shows. So there's a lot of events that could be held here that would bring in funds to all the businesses, because they come in, they go to restaurants, they eat, they buy gas, they go to fast food stores, they stay in motels. So we'd get that tax revenue.
And I know a lot of people used to in Shelbyville would take their vacation during the celebration and rent their homes.
My brother used to rent his out for 2 weeks, and he'd go to Florida.
And that rent would pay his vacation.
Oh, yeah. He'd have a heck of a time, a good time.
Well, I worked at Clyde Phillips for years. And just an example of how this bleeds over, there were some guys came in one day, and their wives, because during the day they're not doing anything. Well, they go out and search around. They came in Tullahoma, they go to Winchester, they go to Manchester, came in Clyde Phillips, and we had a big sale going on because it's time of year to sell you summer stuff and get ready for fall. Well, these guys bought clothes.
Yeah.
All right, so I get a call the next spring from the airport out here. John, can you come pick us up at the airport? Well, these two guys were going from wherever they lived in Carolina or somewhere down into Georgia to buy some bird dogs. They stopped in Tullahoma to come to Clyde Phillips to see if there was any clothes to buy. That's how far-reaching it is. It's not just during the celebration. People come to this part of the country and realize we've got some friends, you do, that were trainers and people from California
That's a fact.
who have left California and moved to
here.
Middle Tennessee.
Russ Thompson came back from California. He lives on the farm over in Shelby now. His whole family.
So it's very, very important to our economy.
It is. The horse show
And this company right here,
is important.
it's very, very important to this company as well.
It definitely is. Definitely.
So, and you do a great job. How many years is it now, Jerry, we've done What a Horse?
I think we're on our 22nd.
22nd year.
I started working on it. Yep, I believe it's the 22nd.
And as far as we know, we're the only company who does a year-round show
We do
on the Tennessee
every
Walking
week,
Horse.
We do a show on the Tennessee Walking Horse, and here's where we're aired in Tennessee, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. We have our own Roku channel. We have a STGN 49 Extreme Sports channel, and we have a Facebook page that our show airs on every week, the whole show. Matter of fact, every episode we're doing of the Celebration News is on our What a Horse TV video group.
And at one time, we even had What a Horse on a NASCAR truck.
It was on NASCAR, yep, it was on a NASCAR truck, and we was on In Country, but that got quite expensive. So,
yeah.
So now we're through Spectrum, Charter, and
YouTube.
We and YouTube.
Have your
we
own
have,
YouTube channel.
Oh Lord, we have our own YouTube channel, on Roku channel, STGN. The Tennessee Walking Horse is growing. Our youth class the other night had 19 youth, 12 to 17. 19. Only one of them was a trainer's daughter. The rest of them were kids that their parents had bought horses and put them in the ring. So we're growing.
Mr. Jerry What a Horse Harris right here, folks, giving us the information on the Tennessee Walking Horse and the 2021 National Celebration. Thanks for what you do, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat, you know? They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at the opening of the show, I was talking about Becky Buller, my own personal superhero. She's going to be playing her first time at the Grand Ole Opry on Friday night, the 3rd, this coming Friday night. And I'm just tickled to death for her, proud for her. And she has won, 10 IBMA awards and 2 or 3 Grammys. Outstanding musician, outstanding lady, and a great performer. And what we're going to do right now is show you a clip from her performance at South Jackson Civic Center a couple of years ago, and she'll be singing her #1 song, A Little More Heart and Less Attack.
Be the lights in the crowd. Be the one that's been there on the camel's back, slow to anger, quick to laugh. Be more heart and less attack. Be the wheels, not the track. Be the wanderer that's coming back. Leave the past right where it's at. Be more heart and less attack. Not the track, be the wanderer that's coming back. Leave the past right where it's at. Be more heart and less attack. Be more heart and less attack. Be more heart and less
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever, you'll be holding me to.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is the Final Sessions, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair to remember.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is the Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you or at crackerbarrel.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. Susan Johnson is back with Isaiah 117, and she's never played golf, but she wants to talk about it.
I do. We actually have an upcoming golf tournament September the 24th. It's a 1 o'clock shotgun start, so we're real excited. I do want to share real quick about the Isaiah 117 house, just in case anybody's new. Isaiah 117 house, once our home's completed, will serve as a transitional place for children on the removal day.
Right.
And that's when they're removed by the Department of Children's Services. So instead of them going to offices or conference rooms or offices at county jails, they'll come to a home environment where they can have their needs met. So if that child's hungry or they're tired or they need a bath, yes, they'll just be in that home environment. They won't be sitting in an office. They won't be hearing phone conversations. They can go outside and play in the backyard.
That's wonderful.
And just get to be a child on that day.
Are you getting close to having that facility finished?
We are. Our goal is by the end of the year, but we have a new project manager, and she is really pushing to get all the subs to have everything done by the 1st to the middle of October. And that'll give us time to get our volunteers trained and moved in and the house set up. So the goal is definitely by the end of this year we want to be finished. But our golf tournament's our last fundraiser for the year. It's our second annual golf tournament. That's going to be at Willowbrook Golf Course. Last year it was amazing.
That's a beautiful golf course, by the way.
It is, and our golf pro was Barry last year, and he was wonderful. Everybody there was. I mean, the time you showed up getting out of the car, people were coming and like, where do you need the table? What do you need help doing? Like, they closed the golf course down, so it's just our tournament that's going on. Lunch is at 12 o'clock, and if you've not ever eaten at Bosky's Grill, you're missing out.
I ate some good food there.
It is. As you mentioned, I don't play golf, but after last year eating there twice in one day, now that's one of my regular places to go.
Good. That's great.
To sit out and overlook the golf course.
Let's tell people exactly where the Willowbrook Golf Course is. Do you know the address? Or?
I do. I have it.
Okay.
I have it here just in case we needed it. It is 6751 McMinnville Highway, Manchester, Tennessee.
And not too far out of Manchester. No. And a beautiful space.
And the awesome thing is, as I was telling you before we came on, one great thing is once players or teams pay their fee, on the day of the tournament, they don't need to bring their wallet.
That's
We're
wonderful.
not going to charge for anything else. So every player gets a free mulligan. They also will get a free hat with our logo on it. They're going to get a free sleeve of Titleist balls.
That is wonderful.
Lunch is free, snacks and refreshments we'll have for them. The top 3 teams are going to have prizes. We're going to have door prizes. And these are not just little door prizes that you're going to want to throw away. These are good value door prizes.
Do you have a deadline on signing up?
We really hope to have everybody signed up by the middle of September, especially our sponsors, because we really want to be able to go ahead and get their signs, fixed and ready. Yes, and know how many we have coming as far as lunch and being prepared. But like I said, the great thing is once they pay, they're getting closest to the pin contest included in that. The putting contest is included in that. So nothing else they're going to need money for. And we also have a hole-in-one prize.
Oh, good.
John Roberts Toyota is going to donate a car.
Wow.
So if you are good enough,
awesome.
you may drive away in a new car that day.
That's a real great thing. Wouldn't that be good? I don't know how many people get a hole-in-one, but it happens.
It happens. Last year I noticed right before our tournament, some individuals there had won a hole-in-one. And I was like,
several. That's unusual.
But they didn't on that day. It was a little windy that day, so they were battling a little wind.
Well, there's some great golfers out there, and I think that you want them to call, or do you also have a website?
We do. They can go to Isaiah117house.com as well and click on events, and there'll be a sign up for golf tournaments there. They can also, my phone number is 931-570-2002, and they're welcome to call me, and I can send them forms. And my email, if they go to our Facebook page.
So you can just email a form, correct?
Yes, I can. And so Isaiah117 House Coffee, Franklin and Grundy, they can go there and message me, and we can do the same thing. I can guide them through the process.
For people that maybe have never been in a tournament, how many are on a team?
So it's a 4-person scramble, and that's just basically all and then we'll have the golf carts will be involved, so everybody gets a free golf cart.
Do you want to tell us what it costs to
Yes, so teams are $400. It's $100 a person. If they have a sponsor, if someone wants to sponsor them, that's $500, and that person will get a whole sponsor sign included in that.
So the sign will be on a certain hole.
Yes,
correct.
Yes. So for $500 instead of the $400, just $100 more if they have a business to sponsor them, they'll have a whole sponsor sign. And we have different levels of sponsorship, so depending on, in different banners, it all comes in different things.
Yeah.
Certain sponsorship levels will also include teams.
And so you want to name some of the sponsorship levels?
We can. So the whole sponsorship, we'll start with that. That's a $250 just to get a sign on the hole. You can have $500 where you sponsor a team. You get a 4-person team. You also get the whole sponsor sign. $1,000 our partner sponsor, and you get your logo on a bigger banner out, plus a whole sponsor sign, plus a team. $2,500 gets you 2 teams, another logo on a special banner, and a whole sponsor sign. And then we also have a $5,000 title sponsor, so it just keeps going up.
One thing I've learned about living in this area, we have some great people that are willing to sponsor, and I'm hoping they will understand what a fabulous thing you guys are trying to do. And you've been working on it for some time, I know. And so you really need the money coming in this time to try to finish up, right?
We do, because that's our goal. We don't owe anybody when we build this house. We have to have our first year's budget of $75,000. And so these fundraisers we have throughout the year, that's our goal, is to reach that $75,000.
And I think it's important to know you don't have to be a golfer to donate to this fabulous cause.
And if
they would be glad to take a check.
We would, and if somebody just wants to come out and volunteer that day, we would love to have them. You could volunteer, you could help get maybe sponsorships for us. Any way they want to get involved, just reach out to us and we would love to have you. And it's going to be an awesome day. Last year I don't play golf, but I'll be honest with you, everybody said they had a wonderful time. The golfers,
sure they did. Golfers always have fun.
They did. They kept bragging on how awesome it was, and so, you know, they thanked us for the tournament.
It's a very well kept golf course. It's clean and always, and if you're not a golfer, and I'm not a golfer, but I used to play with my husband and other people, somewhat. I was never great, I'll just lay that out there. But it's something so peaceful about the beauty of the golf course. And a lot of people play just to be out in the fresh air where it's all clean and neat, and they love it. So I hope you'll get all kinds of people.
We hope so. We hope it's a great second annual.
And men, and
yes.
I think you mentioned it was basically an adult event.
There's not any special, like, you know, rules or anything for teens. So if we did have a teen last year that played, but, you know, there's a different tee for seniors and for women, but there's nothing for anybody else.
Right.
So
they just have to be a team member.
Yes, yes.
And they can get it on it. And so I guess we're close to being out of time, so let's reiterate about exactly how to sign up and when to arrive that day. I know you said it started at a certain time, but what time would they need to arrive?
If they can get there between 11 and 11:30 would be wonderful, but if not, if they get there by 12, that's lunch. We'll get them registered. It won't take long. Just come sign in with us. And then lunch will be at Bosky's Grill, which is right there at the golf course. And then we'll have a 1
What
o'clock.
all they serve? They serve salads and
They have
hamburgers.
Cajun pasta and steaks and things like that. But
everything.
We're having that day hamburgers, and their hamburgers are amazing. So just go to Isaiah117house.com is one way to sign up. Click on events and go to golf tournament, or reach out on our Facebook page, Isaiah117 House, Coffee, Franklin and Grundy, or they can call me, 931-570-2002.
I hope you get golf overload. I hope everybody in the country signs up, and it is a wonderful success.
Thank you.
Susan, you're doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to encourage you to get out there on the putting green and start, okay?
Show them what not to do.
We'll be back with more. Thanks, Susan.
Thank you.
What does caring look like? This is what caring looks like.
This is setting an example for others.
This is rising to the challenge.
This is doing what works. This is doing my part.
This is doing
Your part.
Each of us individually.
Acting as one. Keeping your distance, no matter how awkward it may seem.
This is wearing a mask.
Over your nose and mouth.
Like we are.
Keeping our distance. Each wearing masks.
Not under your chin.
Not above your head. Not in your hand.
But over your nose and mouth.
This is listening to the expert. If you'll just
Wear one of these.
Caring makes community.
And this is what caring looks like.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat. Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
The food at Parkview, well, I haven't had a bad meal there yet.
The food at Parkview is absolutely scrumptious. I mean, it is really good. It's just like home cooking.
And then there are the cookies. Oh my, they bake cookies every day, and they are super.
The food is truly incredible, and it's like being on a cruise ship.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got my buddy on today. It's always fun when he shows up, Mr. Lyle Russell with Tullahoma Parks and Rec, and he is always full of great information. And would you, before we start the other stuff, share with me what you just told me?
Yeah, so I came to talk to you today about some good news that we got for the city. Just about 3 or 4 days ago, we got a notification from the University of Tennessee Institute of Agriculture that we have the state champion willow oak here in Tullahoma. What they do is they go out and you can nominate trees, and what they're looking for is to catalog the largest of that particular species. Up until about 4 or 5 years ago, the largest in that willow oak species was in Shelby County over by Memphis. I'm still not sure if that tree is there. I've tried to find out, but our willow oak here in Tullahoma was named the new champion tree, and we'll find that out, or we'll get the official designation on September 20th.
Okay, so for someone who is not an arborist, you didn't even know I knew that word.
No,
did
I thought you might.
What's the diameter of that tree?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that.
That's circumference.
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I'd have to check my phone and the email because they sent me all the measurements. What happens is when we
is it this big or is it this big?
Oh, no, it's usually 20 feet or better around.
So it's a big tree.
Oh, yeah, it's a big willow oak.
And it's behind the Painted House, right?
Yes, it's right over off of East Lincoln Street behind the Painted House, and it's in between the two parking lots between the Painted House and St. Barnabas right there. Beautiful tree. It's extraordinary to get that designation. So we're very happy.
We're Tree
about
City,
that.
aren't we?
Yeah, and you're actually the first one to find out about that. So this is a scoop for you.
Wow, you folks are the first ones to know. See, Local Information Network, Channel 6. The link.
So we're very excited about that. You know, Miss Roan owns the Painted House, and I've spoken with her. She knew about it, so I guess you're the second person.
Right.
But I spoke with her, and she was very excited to hear about that, and
Sure
the tree
she
board's
was.
very excited. So more to follow on what we're going to be doing with that. I'm sure we'll have some more information coming out, and possibly a little, some
Celebration.
signage, and a little celebration. It's always good to celebrate a tree.
Miss Annie, people will be driving over and to see that tree and think, what do they do inside that Painted House? Why don't we walk in there and see?
Yeah, that whole little area right there could be
it's a
new spot.
Downtown, exciting what's going on downtown.
Yeah, so we're very excited about that. I think that's an awesome thing to get. So.
And what else is fun and funning and gunning going on with Parks and Rec?
Yeah, so we're coming into a new month now in September, and we've got some programming coming up. The biggest one that we have it's a twofold program. We're having the Wanna Beatles come down. We usually do every year up until the last couple of years. We've had the Journey Band come down, and we love working with those guys, but they are in high demand. And they found, with COVID canceling so much over the last year, now they're getting booked left and right all over the place.
Sure.
And so we ran into some scheduling issues. So we sat around, we kicked around some ideas, and we've heard about the Wanna Beatles before, and a couple of our guys have seen them before. And I went out and did some investigating. I called them up and talked to them and listened to some of their stuff. They are fantastic. And I grew up in a music household. My dad was a musician. And,
sure.
So I grew up as a Beatles fan, even though I'm not quite the same age as the Beatles were. But I can still appreciate that. And we're very excited to have them coming. That's going to be a good show.
They changed the musical world.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. That whole British invasion era, the Beatles, the Who, you can stretch it through a few years there, but that whole thing started with these guys.
Yeah.
1963, I believe, was their first U.S. appearance.
They're going to be here September the 17th.
Yeah, September 17th.
7 o'clock.
That's right, Fraser McEwen Park. We have a big stage set up. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a couple food trucks. Got some beer vendors out there. It's going to be a good show. Now, there's a second part to that, though. Another cool thing that you probably heard that we got a grant to renovate the dog park over at Wagner Park. We got $25,000 from the Boyd Foundation. And so
very good.
They're going to come down and do a giant check presentation at the concert for the dog park. So it's a twofold event that we're very excited to have.
And what is that $25,000 going to accomplish at the dog park?
So let me go backwards and tell you a little bit about the grant. So what the Boyd Foundation, Randy Boyd is the president of the University of Tennessee.
Right.
And he has a foundation that over the last 4 years, they have donated $25,000 in grant funds to cities that applied for it. And we have not won it in 3 out of those 4 years. And I was starting to get a little disappointed. this was the last year, and so I put in one more time for it, and lo and behold, we got it. I guess my writing skills improved over 3 years.
Or persistence.
That could be too.
It's sort of like Shawshank Redemption, where
Right.
he keeps writing to get more books into the prison.
Yeah.
After
So,
10 years.
Yes, we were very, over the moon to get that, because our dog park, it's a beautiful spot, but it needs some help. And that grant's going to go a long way. And so what we're planning on doing, we are going to have a public meeting to talk about, for folks that want to have input on what we put in there.
Right.
But we want to upgrade all the features, of course. One of the things that we've been talking about is possibly an additional fenced area for dogs that maybe don't play well with others, but still want to go to the dog park. So it would be a solo dog area. That could also double as, when the animal shelter wants to adopt a dog out and a family wants to go out and play with them, maybe they can meet over there and use that solo area as the introduction area for a new dog going to a new home. So a lot of benefits to that. We're going to do just some upgraded things around that park and make it a better spot. And that's why we want to have the public input too. Do a public meeting, talk about the folks who use the dog park and get their ideas on some things they'd like to see, and then we'll put all that together in a plan and spend some money.
Are there training? You use the word feature.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the features that are there right now?
Yeah, so right now there's some older dog parks. There's a couple of balance things and a slide, and they are.
So it's just like a kids park.
It is, but for dogs.
Yeah.
So we want to add some more to that, make it a little bit more official, correct dog play and training features for people to go out there and actually use it. So we're excited about that, and that's going to kick off at our Wanna Beatles concert on September 17th. So it's going to be a really good show. We're excited.
I saw a show, and I can't remember exactly what it was or where it was recently, where a guy was looking for his girlfriend, and he found her at this dog place, and she was sitting with a dog, and they were having conversation, the dog and the woman, and she was rubbing the dog, and the dog was enjoying it. And he said, "Well, you want a dog?" And she said, "I don't know that I do right now," but she said, "I love coming here once a week and getting some puppy love."
Mm-hmm.
And so, do we have people that just show up at the dog pound and just sit with dogs, and just for that? That's a way that they can get that feeling of companionship with an animal, but not really have to own the animal. A lot of people's lives are confusing and full, and they don't have time to give an animal proper care.
Yeah, well,
and I thought that was a great idea to have a place like that was comfortable, where people could go and just spend time with an animal. Yeah. And it's good for both of them.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know that there's that many opportunities to do that around here. Not saying that there isn't. I may just not be aware of them, but I know there's some really good groups out there that do a lot of good work with that. I know there are some groups that will take not necessarily shelter dogs, but take trained dogs into nursing centers and nursing homes to visit patients. My wife, with our Birds of Prey, will take her barn owl sometimes when she goes and visits patients, and they love that, because that's something you don't see every day. So there's a lot of people out there that do that.
Right.
I wish that they were more vocal. I'd love to know more about what they do with that, and ways that maybe we can help facilitate some of that at Parks and Rec. I think that's a great thing.
So it's just amazing what, and as we're going through our 2040 plan, as you and I were discussing earlier, things like this that we're discussing right now are the kind of input that this committee needs to develop what Tullahoma is going to be like in 40. And your idea, the simplest idea, might be the very idea that works. Don't not say something or send a suggestion for fear that, well, that's stupid. If you thought of it and it has merit to you, it probably has merit to other people as well.
That's right.
We need all of that information.
That's right. And every idea doesn't have to be fully fleshed out. If it's just something you want to throw out there and let other people build on it, send it to us, bring it to us. We'd love to hear about it.
Well, I love what y'all do, and it's always fun having you here. You're one of my favorites, and Just remember the Wanna Beatles. That's WANNA, Wanna Beatles, and that is September 17th at Fraser McEwen Park.
It is.
And it'll be a good time.
It will be.
Lyle Russell, thank you very much, buddy.
Always a pleasure.
It's my pleasure. The pleasure is mine and theirs. We'll be right back after these messages.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Hello everyone, John Rickman here. And this is Pat Welch. And John, we're here under probationary status from after segment 88. We're now 89. We have cleared management to continue on. Hopefully we'll get the green light from here to 100.
We're not going to mention snakes for a while.
No, I hope not.
Back in the 50s, late 50s, I guess, early 60s, but I believe it was late 50s, Robert Mitchum had a movie they called Thunder Road. He was a young man who drove a load of whiskey to the place he was carrying it for his daddy. His daddy made the whiskey, and he was the driver in a souped-up car. And I think probably a lot of kids back that time had souped-up cars and had it weighted down in the back, just like Robert Mitchum might have back that time. But,
where was the location supposed to have been?
North Carolina and East Tennessee. The song. Okay. What is amazing to me, Robert Mitchum wrote this song. Now I might not sing it just right because there's a lot of words, goes pretty quick, but I'll try my best. And
well, let me interject something that might be of a little bit of interest. Do you know which county in the United States killed more federal agents during Prohibition than any county?
Franklin County, Virginia.
Bingo. Obviously, I've told you that before.
No, you didn't tell me. I just know.
Okay. Well, that you're a man of great higher learning.
I watched the movie Lawless. Rough movie, but it was in Franklin County. More whiskey was made illegally.
It was incredible. I have been to Franklin County, Virginia, and it is in the very, very rural, and there's more gravel roads by far than there are paved roads, and there are hairpin turns and everywhere. It'd be a great place for somebody to hide his steel. Do you know the county seat of Franklin County, Virginia?
No.
Rocky Mount.
Oh, North Carolina?
Rocky Mount, Virginia.
Oh,
it's the county seat.
Wrong state. My wife's father was an alcoholic. He learned to be an alcoholic drinking from his daddy's still in Livingston, Tennessee. From Livingston. And he liked the taste of alcohol, and his daddy made the whiskey, and he became an alcoholic and broke up that marriage. My wife's mother and father.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, but this little song about Thunder Road. Let me tell the story. I can tell it all. mountain boy who sold ran illegal alcohol. His daddy made the whiskey, the son he ran the load, and when his engine roared, they called the highway Thunder Road. And there was thunder, thunder, oh, the Thunder Road. Thunder was his engine, and white lightning was his load. And there was moonshine, moonshine quenched the devil's thirst. The law, they swore they'd get him, but the devil got him first. In the month of April 1954, the federal man sent word, you'd better make your run no more. They sent 300 agents covering up the state. Whichever road he took, they'd get him sure as fate. Son, his daddy told him, make this run your last. Your tank is filled with 100 proof. You're all tuned up and gassed. Now don't take any chances. If you can't get through, I'd rather have you back again than all that Mountain Dew. And there was thunder, thunder, oh, the Thunder Road. Thunder was his engine, and white lightning was his load. And there was moonshine, moonshine quenched the devil's thirst. The law, they swore they'd get him, but the devil got him first. Rolling out of Asheville, revving up his mill, he shot the gap at Cumberland and screamed down Maynard Hill. G-men on his taillights, roadblocks up ahead. The mountain boy took roads that even angels fear to tread. Then outside of Knoxville, out on Kingston Pike, just outside of Bearden, he made his final strike. He left the road at 90, that's all there is to say. The devil got the whiskey and the mountain boy the day. And there was thunder, thunder, oh, the Thunder Road. Thunder was his engine and white lightning was his load. And there was moonshine, moonshine to quench the devil's thirst. The law, they swore they'd get him, but the devil got him first.
That was an absolute classic, John. And
Robert Mitchum would be proud, wouldn't he?
Recent employment and my travels in East Tennessee, I've been in several of those spots, Maynardville, Kingston Pike. Yeah. I can promise you one thing, though, there's a vast difference between Maynardville and Kingston Pike and Knoxville today. One of them is a center of retail, and the other is extremely rural.
Well, that song took a little longer than some others, so we better get right to the subject matter.
Any segue today, John?
That was not a good segue because this man, he was good as gold. He was a Tullahoma native. There's nothing about what we sang about that even compares, you might say. We're going to talk today about Bob Couch. Everybody loved Bob. And he has a program on P-Head Productions, just kind of like what we do.
Well, let's set the record straight on that too, John. A lot of people think we came to be the new Bob Wave of Bob Couch and so forth. I can't do that one because there's only one Bob Couch, and we've got our own show. And please don't compare us, because if you do, me and you are going to be second fiddle.
And it takes two of us.
That's right.
And Bob could sit there by himself.
Two can't do the job of one.
But Bob, wonderful fella. Show that picture. In Bob's declining years, I was a Rotary program chairman, and we had that man that looked like Abraham Lincoln at our Rotary that day. And Bob was a Rotary member, always a Rotary member, and he was in bad health, and he was homebound at this point.
He would have had close to 50 years perfect attendance too, John.
Yes.
Anytime he was sick or something missed, he'd make it up in another town.
Dr. Jerry Kennedy next to me, and between Dennis Boggs is the fellow who portrays Lincoln, speaks just like him.
He looks so close to Lincoln there that it almost looks like he's photoshopped in. But that's him.
My sister-in-law was a principal at a school over in Lewisburg, and she had him come and speak to her students, and then he went all over Lewisburg talking about Lincoln and his and he'll give the Lincoln, like the Gettysburg Address and things like that. Just, and there's Dot on the left over there, and we just, that was a great day. That was a day that I'll always remember sitting there with Bob. Now, notice that clothespin on Bob's on robe, on the holding the robe together.
Which he normally wore it on his tie at work, up at Couches. And
it was notes that he would.
He'd have 4 or 5 stacked in there about call Kodak or call Miss Chrisman, or it was incredible.
In Rotary one day, I had him sign a clothespin, and I auctioned it there at Rotary, and I don't think it bought but maybe $5 or $10. I can't remember. I was sort of disappointed in that.
Yeah, that would have done a whole lot of the polio vaccines in the Third World.
But anyway, Bob had that clothespin on, and there was. I'll let you read that, Pat. And his mother, Belle.
Yeah, this is interesting. Which we never did. We just thought he just wore it for a joke. But his mother sent him to school with a clothespin on, and it was supposed to remind him of 3 things. Now,
what 3 things could it be?
This is a young man in elementary school whose mother has sent him to school with the 3 things he needs to always remember, reminded by a clothespin. Number 1, don't forget to blow your nose. Number 2, pull your socks up. Number 3, be nice to your teacher. Now, that would be 3 good things to remember for today.
Now, I want to go to that next picture, Philip. If you do those 3 things, they'll name a highway after you.
Or at least you'll be on the list as a possibility.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah. I took that picture. I got a little cheap camera, but it came out pretty good. But that's Bob Couch Highway. That's down Jackson, looking up North Jackson. And Bob was such a wonderful person. And thank you, Philip, for that picture.
He was so open and so receptive to new people and to guests. And he sold Tullahoma, whether he was in Tullahoma or whether he was in Anchorage or whether he was in Singapore. He loved Tullahoma. And I can remember being at Couches one time, and there were 2 or 3 people in there, and somebody had just moved in. Now, remember, Bob would have really been busy at Couches during the expansion of AEDC and tremendous growth in Tullahoma. And there was some question about, I've been in Tullahoma so many years, am I a Tullahoman or am I a native, and they were all having a discussion about how long you had to live here, what you had to do, and that kind of thing, and before somebody would consider you native. And he piped up real quick. He said, listen, as soon as you can learn to spell Tullahoma and pronounce it, you're a native. So he, where some people, if you haven't been here 25 years, or if that's a barrier somebody put up, you're not really a Tullahoman. Bob took you just as soon as you came into town, that's the life he lived.
He was well recognized too at MTSU.
Oh yeah,
Middle Tennessee
he was
State.
A really active alumnus.
They walked him out on the football field one time, recognizing him for some particular facet of.
He won the Nunley Award.
Nunley Award, and we know Joe Nunley. We've talked about him before.
Right. And his
Nunley Award.
Father had been the principal at Forest and Chapel Hill, and then he was at a really active career at MTSU himself.
Bob's a wonderful guy. And Pat, we could go on and on about Bob Couch, and we love the man, and love Dot and Candy and Fran, and they're great.
Well, what are you ready to close out? Because I've got one tidbit to offer that not many people knew, but back in the 40s and 50s, and he did a little bit in the early 60s, because I saw it one time. He did a comedy act off a diving board with a guy named Gene Boaz, and Bob did a lot of it later on by himself, but he was a really good acrobat, and they'd be on these really high dives on somebody told me Lake Tullahoma and Avoca. And he had a real old-style swimsuit down about his ankles and stripes on it, and covered all, his arms and so forth.
Trying to be modest.
Oh yeah, he'd go up and do all kinds of flips and stuff, and then do belly busters where you think, golly, how can a man survive from that? But he was really a talented, interesting, and a great church person, First Christian, and just a welcoming, accepting person. He was really a neat guy.
He made Tullahoma great.
Oh, he was a great Tullahoma person.
Folks, that's it. We got to quit talking about Bob. We just go on and on about Bob.
And that was segment 89.
I think
we
you're right,
hope, since we've done this segment on management's relative that we won't have to go through probationary status but one time. We hope we're at number 90 on our own because we got more stories to tell. Thank you all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
I am tremendously blessed to be living at Parkview and very happy to be part of a loving and caring community.
Best thing you can say is this really a great place to live. That's all there is to it, no doubt about that.
It's your home. You just do what you would if you were at your private home. You know, we love it. It's great.
It's just like having a whole neighborhood around you, and it's fun.
It's just a great place to live.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared.
But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective.
Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us.
Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and earlier we showed a video of Becky Buller, who's going to be playing at the Grand Ole Opry this Friday night, September the 3rd, for her first time. Outstanding fiddle player. Now, several years ago, I met another outstanding fiddle player, Miss Allison Krause, and she was down at the Bell Buckle Cafe along with a whole lot of other stars who were there to celebrate Charlie Louvin's birthday, and it was, I think, his last time to do a live performance. It was at the Bell Buckle Banquet Hall, and we were down there and got some video of that, and I met Allison Krause at that point, an outstanding fiddle player, and Bonnaroo's coming up this week, and Allison Krause was at Bonnaroo in 2010. So to keep it fiddling, we're going to bring you that video right now.
And I'm just going down for a soul.
surround that old long neck bottle and love on a spring. Days on the lands of Wild Bill Jones, and tomorrow will be the last of me. There's a restless feeling knocking at my door today. There's a shadow hanging round my garden gate. I read between the lines of a word you can't disguise. Love has gone away and put these tears in my eyes. There's a restless feeling knocking at my door today. There's a shadow hanging round my garden gate. I read between the lines of a word you can't disguise. Love has gone away and put these tears in my We'd like to tell you that this is over here playing the dobro. He comes from Warren, Ohio, and now lives in Nashville, Tennessee. He's one of the finest musicians in any genre of music. We're so proud that we've been traveling around with him for the past number of years. Please make welcome Jerry Douglas, everybody. How y'all doing? You look marvelous. You look good. You can turn over now. That side is done.
right, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. We'll see you next time.